Hi, this is Joanne McIntosh with the Tennessee chapter of the Sierra Club, and I'm here today to share with you some information about the Inflation Reduction Act, an act that was passed in August of 2022 that has lots of funding opportunities for us as individuals in the state of Tennessee, tax credits and rebates and so on. And we are going to look at a couple of those benefits today. So the major elements of the Inflation Reduction Act cover a lot of different areas. We did a presentation in January for our Tennessee Sierra Club on home energy and infrastructure and also electric vehicles. And today we're going to share with you the information about electric vehicles. So electric vehicles, EVs we call them. Why buy one? There's been a lot of hype, but there's lots of good reasons to own one. Number one, less expensive fuel. You're paying 3 cents per mile or 100 plus equivalent miles per gallon in Tennessee when you drive an EV. There's less maintenance because there's fewer parts. They're very convenient. You can refuel at home with a charger or on the road at charging stations. EVs are much cleaner. There's no operating emissions, no greenhouse gases, which of course in Sierra Club we are very concerned about. And we're proud to say that in the state of Tennessee, our electricity is over 60% non-fossil fuel, mostly nuclear and hydro. And so that helps us be sure that we are not emitting through our electric company either. And the biggest reason, I think, for driving in an EV is they are just plain fun to drive. I've been an EV owner since 2011. My first Nissan Leaf, I'm on my second, and I think I'm about to go to my third here shortly. I've never regretted the decision to buy the Leaf, and I really am excited about sharing this information and I hope that folks will follow the lead and get one for themselves. So here's an overview on EVs from the Inflation Reduction Act. This act is going to make it easier and cheaper to purchase an electric vehicle. There are discounts up to $7,500 for new EVs, and for the first time ever, a $4,000 discount for used EVs, helping middle-class Americans skip the gas pump and save on fuel costs. And in Tennessee, millions of people will be eligible for these discounts. So different types of discounts. There are upfront discounts, which are rebates at the point of sale. This means they come right off the price that you pay. Upfront discounts are not currently available for EVs, but they should be next year in 2024. Electric vehicle tax credits are subtracted from the amount of federal taxes that you owe. This means that you pay the full price when you're purchasing the EV, but the government pays you back at tax time. You can apply for a tax credit once every 3 years, so it's not a once-in-a-lifetime deal. And you can get a tax credit on a new EV, and if you want to buy a used EV, they are available to have both a new credit and a used credit applied for each VIN. So in other words, someone might have bought an EV new and applied for the new tax credit, and then a couple of years later, you buy that same vehicle used. The used credit is still available. And for more information on this, Plug in America is a great resource. And just so you don't have to write down this website, here's a nice little QR code for you to scan. So let's talk about these new EV tax credits. Up to $7,500. They're available to both individuals and their businesses with some caveats. To qualify, you must buy the vehicle for your own use, not for resale, and use it primarily in the United States. There are some tax income requirements as well. Your modified adjusted gross income may not exceed these limits depending on which filing category you are in. And some more requirements here. They are available, the clean vehicle credits are available to individuals only. Manufacturer suggested retail price, MSRP, that you see whenever you're buying a new or used vehicle at a dealer, cannot exceed $80,000 for vans, SUVs, and pickups, and $55,000 for all other vehicles. The seller must report this required information to you at the time of sale and to the IRS as well. And for more information, scan the QR. More caveats. How this breaks down. The $7,500, a vehicle is eligible for 1/2 of that credit if the vehicle has battery components, currently 50% of the battery components, that are manufactured or assembled in North America. To be eligible for the other half, a vehicle must have critical minerals, currently 40%, that were extracted or processed in the U.S. or countries with which we've got a free trade agreement, or use critical minerals that were recycled in North America. And finally, final assembly must take place in North America. As of April 2023, the qualifying new vehicles are these. Cadillac, 1 model, Chevrolet's got 5, so on and so forth. You notice there are some brands that are missing here. And that will probably change in 2024. But I did also want to point out that these vehicles that I've got here on the slide in red are actually made in Tennessee. And again, check out the list of new vehicles. It's always changing at this website. All right, new. For the first time ever, you can get an EV tax credit on a used vehicle. Tax credits up to $4,000. Again, it's available only to individuals, and to qualify, you must buy it from a dealer, which is not, doesn't have to be a brick and mortar. You can buy it from an online dealer as well, and use it primarily, again, in the United States. In addition, your modified adjusted gross income may not exceed these limits, and you'll notice these are considerably less than what they were, the limits were for the new vehicle tax credit. Okay, so you got this EV, you're not going to the gas station, how are you going to charge it up? So there's 3 types of chargers. The level 1 trickle charger comes with every EV, and it's just a standard 120 volt outlet. There's level 2 home charging available. You purchase the unit and install it or have it installed, and it's just a standard 220 to 240 volt outlet like you would have, for instance, for your electric dryer. And then the 3rd type of charger is the fast charger. And this is 480 volts. This is commercial use and public use. These are the chargers that you are going to find being installed all over Tennessee and across the country to help people get charged while they are traveling on the road and back on the road. This is another picture of my 2015 Nissan Leaf. I wanted to show you the charging port here. My 2015 was just the standard model, and in 2015 you had to pay extra to get the fast charging port, and I did not do that. So I can only charge my 2015 Leaf with the level 2 charger. And the picture on the right shows you where I've got it plugged in, and that's my charger there on the wall. Relatively easy to install, not super expensive, and boy, it sure does make life easy to just come home at night, plug it in while peak power is not being used, demand isn't up for peak power like it is during the day, plug it in, charge it overnight, and get up in the morning and drive it again. This is an example of a fast charger. These chargers that I'm showing here right now were just installed in May of this year, 2023, by our CDE Lightband, our municipal power company here in Clarksville. And they installed 4 of these chargers right off of the highway, Interstate 24 at exit 11. They will show up on charging apps which is another suggestion I have. Get a charging app on your phone. You can find all the charging stations, find out whether they are being occupied, whether there's a vacancy. There usually are at this point. But this is showing the two different types of chargers they have. These are both level 3 chargers, though. And there's a couple different kinds because up until 2023 and going forward, there was not standardized charging ports. So these will service both Teslas and some other brands that use a different type of charging. And I just wanted to show you a typical charging time chart. This is a big question. How long does it take to charge? So for my Nissan Leaf, the trickle charge, as you can see, could take up to 2.5 days. But this is to get it up to 100%. And for my Leaf right now, the range is only about 80 miles. Of course, with newer vehicles, you can get 150 miles, depending on how much you want to pay for what size battery. You can get a driving range to 300 to 400 now. So I chose the smaller battery, the lighter weight, the less expensive, because I figured I was just going to be doing a lot of commuting. And so, yeah, if for some reason I didn't have my home charger and needed to plug it into the trickle charger, I could certainly plug it in overnight and be able to drive it the next day. It wouldn't be 100% charged, but it would be drivable. Okay, the level 2 charger, which we purchased and had installed, takes about 7.5 to 11 hours. Again, this depends on the size of the vehicle, but that's about right for my Leaf. So like I said, I just plug it in overnight. And the fast chargers, like I showed you at our highway exit, take 40 to 60 minutes for a 100% charge, but they can usually get you up to 80% charged in 30 minutes. So that's time to grab a sandwich and make a couple phone calls and then be on your way again. And the IRA also has a tax credit for getting a home charging station. So this EV charger credit was available before and has now been extended for another 9+ years. The credit is available for both individual and commercial uses to help cover the cost of charging stations. For individual residential uses, the tax credit covers 30% or up to $1,000 per unit of the cost of the equipment. You could spend $1,000 on a level 2 charger at home, but that certainly wouldn't only be 30% of the total price. So this is a very helpful tax credit. For commercial uses, the tax credit covers only 6%, but up to $100,000 per unit of the cost of the equipment. And this is a big figure because for commercial uses, they're probably going to be using the level 3 chargers, and they are quite expensive. Bidirectional charging equipment is also eligible, and there are some EVs right now that have bidirectional charging capabilities, which means that they can flow electricity out as well as having it come in. So in a situation where you might need to have power for something you're using camping, or maybe in the event of an emergency with a blackout at your house, there is power that you can use from your EV if it has the bidirectional capabilities. So in the state of Tennessee, the Tennessee Valley Authority and the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation have collaborated on providing an infrastructure for us that want to drive our EVs across the state. Their goals are to have fast chargers every 50 miles along Tennessee major highways, and also to have 200,000 EVs in Tennessee registered by 2028. That's ambitious, but we are heading that direction. In August of 2022, grants were awarded to 12 local power companies for charging infrastructure. In addition, TVA anticipates funding another 21 projects in Tennessee, installing 56 charging units at 27 sites. And in September of 2021, our Tennessee Sierra Club members contacted all 82 local power companies about applying for the 80% funding of a fast charger in their communities. So we're proud of our volunteers for getting the word out to their local power companies. And just a little more information here about charging infrastructure. The Bipartisan Infrastructure and Jobs Act also had money available and then submitted a state plan for using funds to help build out EV charging stations along highways. And you can see how well Tennessee did for states in the Southeast. And I just want to mention too, there really is a push to get this charging infrastructure available, because that has been in the past one of the major reasons that people did not want to purchase an EV, because of the so-called range anxiety. You know, what if I can't make it to the next charging station? So that is now being corrected. The new buzzword now is range confidence, and we are going to have the infrastructure in place to instill that confidence in all EV drivers and potential buyers. We also have tons of electric vehicle support. There's a great organization, Drive Electric Tennessee, which actually worked with us here in Clarksville to have an electric ride and drive day where we had EVs that were brought in from dealers and from owners like myself, and we let the public go for rides in them, drive a little, gave them all our great testimonials about why we own EVs. So there are these Drive Electric events all over the state of Tennessee, and besides that, Drive Electric really helps focus on building this program, you know, which demonstrates, you know, economic development, social benefits, cost effectiveness, and technology innovation, which is just incredible at this point. And right now, there are several Drive Electric chapters across the state of Tennessee, where we have teams of folks that are EV cheerleaders and happy to help you if you have questions about owning an EV. And that's it for right now. I've got several pages of references here. I'm happy to share this PowerPoint in a PDF form, and you can just click on URLs to your heart's content. And finally, if you'd like to contact me directly, I'd be happy to speak with you about this, and my information is here. So thank you all for listening. Have a great day. Go drive an EV. You'll be wowed.